My father taught me all about these. This one carries gas to homes across the UK.
If you don't pay us, I will destroy this tunnel and everyone in it.
This isn't about money. It's revenge.
We're more alike than you know. Let me help you embrace who you really are.
Oh, I love your necklace. That's beautiful.
Thank you. That's funny. I put it on last minute, and I said to the people that are listening, you know, secretly in on this conversation, I was like, "Is it too much? Is it too much?" And they're like, "I don't know. Just do it." So I was like, "Okay, let's see." First compliment. So now I know that I made the right choice.
It is. No, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. The film is great fun, great action movie. And I was just wondering what appealed to you about the role or the movie itself when it first came to you?
I think I received an email first off that just sort of said, "There's a film audition. This is who's doing it," as in, you know, who's behind it. No one was really attached but Sam, who I love. And I thought, okay. And it seemed very action, basic action kind of film. And then when I received the script and all the different pieces of material, and then the Good Psychopath book, which is written by Andy McNab, who also wrote the book that this is based on, and who is also a psychopath, I went, oh, this is extra reading material that I wasn't expecting. Like, I wonder if, you know, my character or someone in this is some kind of crazy, you know, psychopath. And then in reading it and reading the material and reading the script, I was so fascinated by the psychology behind it. Just that I myself was so uneducated and didn't realize that there's a whole spectrum of people, you know, when it comes to sociopathy, and you can be in this part of it, or you could be the very far end where you have the Ted Bundys and the Jeffrey Dahmers and people that have impulse control and other kind of things going on. But there's also a huge amount of people on the spectrum that live normal jobs and normal lives, and they have children, they're married, and they're great to be around, like Wolfie, Andy McNab, such a lad, such a funny, great dude to be around. And I think that was what really interested me was, okay, so Sam and I both have the same sort of thing that we're coping with or dealing with or we're born with. We're on sort of opposite sides. We both think we're doing the right thing for the right reasons. And as the film plays out, you kind of, in a way, feel for both of them, you know, and you don't, it's hard to really dissect like who is exactly wrong and who is exactly right. It's a very gray area, even though we both do questionable things, I would say. So I was really attached and drawn to how this isn't like a normal action film, because I was having to take on board a whole different type of character.
I mean, it's interesting. I find it really interesting, the relationship that she's got, her family relationship, you know, that there's with Tom Wilkinson as her dad, and had the relationship with her brother. I mean, that was something you don't normally see in this kind of movie, really, do you?
No, exactly. And it was that kind, and trying to facilitate that and to depict it in the right way was why it was so great having Andy McNab obviously on set and around to ask questions for, because, you know, obviously I love my dad and my dad loves me, but, you know, he's a psychopath. We're on this spectrum, and how we show love and why we love each other and what does that actually mean, because it's not the same way that we just get a warm feeling that we just love our parents or we just love this person. It's an ends to a means or a means to an end, where it's, well, this is my daughter and I love her because she does X, Y, Z, she does this well, and that is a very different way of dissecting who means something to you in life. And it's kind of a thought process as opposed to a feeling. And then my brother obviously is not like my dad and I. And so therefore my dad sees him as a weaker individual, not special like me or like him. Whereas I still love my brother, even though I understand that he's different to me. I don't see it as the same way that my father does. But, you know, and you see that kind of play out trying to navigate a family dynamic, but you're talking about people that don't have an emotional kind of chip in their brain either.
I mean, you said that Andy McNab was on set so that you had him, you could ask for things like this, because obviously he wrote it. Did he also tell you any kind of little secrets and tips? I mean, Sam said to me this morning that he told him how you could kill somebody with a mobile phone, which I thought was a handy skill.
Sam, I don't know, man. Sam is so funny. He's, and people keep out, you know, people want to ask me like, what's the weird thing about Sam, or what's this or what's that? And I'm like, guys, I'm sorry, it is so boring. He is so handsome, so charming, so beautiful, so brilliant. He's a gentleman. This is like, he's so annoyingly a perfect specimen of what a man, you know, should be. I just love him. But the one thing was, he had no qualms about asking Andy like anything. Whereas we knew we could ask anything and we would just get the answer. There's no sugarcoating, because he doesn't see the point and doesn't read, you know, emotions by people if they're uncomfortable or distressed, or the story's a little much, you know, we know how to pull back and go, oh, maybe that was a bit much. You know, he doesn't. And so my questions were more about relationship. Why would you get married? And 3 times? Like, why do you get married if you don't feel love? And what about this? And what about that? And Sam's like, hey, how many dead bodies do you think would be over there? And he's like, oh, about 1,000. And how did they died? Well, best way to kill someone in the woods is with a, you know, I'm like, guys, like, this is so intense. But Sam would ask all the time, like, he would literally be like, oh, how would I kill someone with this? And Andy's like, well, what you want to do is you want to go into the jugular and you want to hit the, you know, and the trachea, and if you slip the and he's got 4 minutes, and the blood is like, and I'm just sitting there like, when's lunch? Because I'm going to need some time to recover. But yeah, Andy had some incredible stories, and it was very useful on set. Yeah.
I mean, I saw, you know, it's a very, it looks like a very physically demanding film for you. And one thing I wanted to ask is, I remember you had, is it neck or back surgery? Mm-hmm. Was this film before that? It was, yeah. This was filmed quite a bit before that.
And, you know, there was still like an intense amount of training, intense amount of physicality, of course, as you would have noticed. But yeah, just a blast to shoot.
I mean, do you now that you've had sort of surgery and everything, does it make you slightly more hesitant on set if you're doing action sequences, or are you just like, no, I'm fine, the doctor sorted me out, I'm good to go?
I'm pretty good to go. I'm fully healed. This is a bionic, you know, titanium type indestructible neck that I have now. And so if anything, it's stronger than probably most people's necks. And the recovery was great, you know, as far as I'm back to new or even better now. And you know, I had the same surgery Charlize Theron has as well. She did the same thing on a particular project. She did something with her neck. So she has a bionic neck, and she's out there doing action films nonstop and nailing it. So it's kind of just, you know, it's part of the job. As a stunt person or someone that does a lot of your own stunts, injuries are kind of, they just come with it. They just come with it. But no, I've done action films since, and now I just listen to my body a little better. I used to be kind of quite good at going, oh, it's fine. And now I'm more likely to say, can we rehearse that again? Can we do that again? Can we just check if the ground is this? Can we, you know, just a little more cautious, but no, I still dive in head first.
Yeah. And because I've only got about a minute left, but I just wanted to ask, I understand, have you just finished filming One Up? Is that right?
Yes. I finished One Up.
That sounds really, really interesting. I was wondering whether you were able to tease anything about it or tell me how the role came to you, just anything you can tell us about it.
Actually, the role came to me because I had told the guys that did The Doorman over and over again how much I wanted to do comedy and do some other roles that weren't just, you know, killing people and kicking butt and taking names. I would like to do some other things. And this is a project that they were also producing. It's a comedy, and it's a sort of coming of age film. And I play a teacher, and it's really sweet and it's really cute, and it's just got so much to it. And I read the script and went, okay, I have to do this film. This is exactly what I want to do. And then I also finished on a film called Vanquish, and I started another. But I am really looking at hoping that, you know, we can get more scripts and I can get more opportunities to play characters that, you know, my younger family members can watch and my grandma can watch, and people that can't necessarily watch the extremities, like the very extreme, you know, death and survival and action and all the rest of the fun things I do.
Yeah, I don't think your granny would want to see what happens to you in SAS Red Notice, really. I won't say what it is. But
the thing is, they all watch, like, I'll say, look, man, you probably don't want to watch this one. And she's like, okay. And then she watches it straight away. So I know that, so I'm just happy that there's one that I can say, like, watch this one, you know, and you'll like this one. No one gets hurt.